Volcanoes, geysers, and earthquakes. In 1883, a volcanic island in Indonesia called Krakatoa erupted. Over 150 villages were destroyed, and the sound of the eruption could be heard in Australia, 5,000 kilometers away. It was the greatest eruption ever known. In 1470 BC, the Greek island of Santorini erupted with 5 times the force of Krakatoa. The power of the eruption is estimated to be 130 times greater than the biggest bomb ever detonated. The whole island was destroyed, and a massive tidal wave overwhelmed Crete. This huge wave may have wiped out all the Minoan people who lived there. In 1815, Tambora, another volcano in Indonesia, erupted. 153 cubic kilometers of rock were blown out, leaving the island 1,250 meters lower than before. That is enough rock to cover the whole of England and Wales to a depth of 1 meter, or the whole of Scotland with 2 meters of rocks and debris. The island of Volcano, just off Sicily, is no longer an active volcano. You can sunbathe on its beaches in perfect safety, but you may feel that you are sunbathing on an open cast coal mine. The sand is ancient lava and is quite black like coal dust. What causes volcanoes and earthquakes? The Earth's crust floats on a sea of hot, molten lava. The crust is weaker in some places, and here the hot magma may force its way through the crust to the surface. There are 850 volcanoes in the world, many of them beneath the sea. There are also about 1,000 earthquakes every year that are strong enough to be felt. The Earth's crust is divided into plates which move on the molten lava. Most earthquakes in volcanoes occur where one plate is pushing against another. There is plate movement all around the edge of the Pacific Ocean, creating airing of fire. There are no active volcanoes in the United Kingdom, but several extinct ones. There are earth tremors every few days, but only a few of them are strong enough to be felt. The largest one measured 5.1 on the Richter scale. It was centered on Bishop's Castle on the Welsh-Shropshire border, and the shockwave was felt all over Wales and England and even in Dublin in Era. An earlier Welsh earthquake in 1984 measured 5.4 on the Richter scale and was felt as far away as southern Scotland. The largest volcano still active today is Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Its crater is about 3.5 kilometers or 2.1 miles across and is more than 150 meters or 492 feet deep. It erupts about once every 3.5 years. If Trafalgar Square were on one edge, the monument in the City of London would be on the other side. Tidal waves have nothing to do with the tide. They are caused by earthquakes or volcanoes. They can travel for thousands of kilometers. In 1960, an earthquake in Chile whipped up a giant wave which traveled right across the Pacific Ocean and swamped towns and villages in Japan. This Chilean earthquake is probably the largest ever recorded. The highest known wave was 67 meters, or 219 feet, high. This is nearly half as high again as Nelson's Column in Trafalgar Square, London. It was generated by a mighty earthquake in Alaska in 1964 that measured 8.9 on the Richter scale. Thousands of people have been killed by earthquakes. When the most destructive earthquake shook Shenxi province in China in 1556, about 800,000 people died. Nearly as many may have died in 1976 in Tangshan, again in China. The exact number of deaths in this earthquake is not known because the Chinese government have concealed the extent of the damage. The Earth's surface is made up of plates. These are moving slightly all the time. When pressure builds up between two plates, the result is an earthquake. Animals often know that an earthquake is going to happen before people do. There are many stories of animals alerting their owners and saving them from harm. The animals can probably detect the slight tremors that precede the main earthquake. Geysers are hot springs which shoot spouts of steam and hot water up to 30 meters or 98 feet into the air. They occur where underground water is heated by pockets of magma. Freezing Icelanders use some of the hot water from the geysers to provide central heating in their homes.